sentient beings as the root, the Mahayana path to awakening.
Hello everyone and welcome to today's deep dive. What we're going to chat about today is quite special. We'll be using a very precious text from the Buddha-Gayati Association of Australia to unpack a super interesting conversation between the master and the disciple. Through this we'll get a glimpse into the very essence of Buddhist philosophy. Whether you're brand new to these concepts or have been studying them for a while, I am confident this intellectual journey will bring you some fresh inspiration. Let us take a quick look at our roadmap for today. We'll be covering 5 main highlights: clarifying the 2 paths to awakening, exploring the vivid metaphor of the Bodhi tree, talking about why action always trumps perfect preparation, discussing the art of true compassion, elevating our scope to look at how to shape your own reality. This is a journey that flows all the way from outward action to inward awareness. Without further ado, let us jump straight into our first topic. Part E, the 2 paths to awakening. To kick things off, we first need to define the 2 primary spiritual paths mentioned in the text, Mahayana and Theravada. There is a line in the text that hits the nail right on the head. To sacrifice oneself for the benefit of all sentient beings is Mahayana. To conquer one's own defilements and trend toward nirvana is Hinayana. Think about it, doesn't this line summarize the difference between the ultimate goals of these 2 paths with incredible clarity and precision? To put it simply, it's like 2 different routes. The path on the left, Mahayana, focuses entirely on others, thinking about how to pull everyone out of the mire of suffering. Meanwhile, the path on the right, Hinayana, focuses inward, exchanging personal peace by conquering one's own mental defilements. The master emphasizes here that seeing the suffering of others and making a firm resolve to help them solve it is the core essence of Mahayana Buddhism from start to finish. Part R, the metaphor of the Bodhi tree. Next, we move to our second part, which features a classic metaphor from the Avatamsaka Sutra. Imagine a massive tree. The roots represent all sentient beings. The water and nutrients used to irrigate it represent your great compassion. Finally, the flowers and fruits that blossom represent true wisdom and enlightenment. What does this mean? If a tree has no roots to absorb water, how could it ever bear fruit? Right, therefore, if you don't actually apply compassion to the lives of ordinary people, achieving perfect enlightenment is completely impossible. Furthermore, the master adds a very down-to-earth perspective. Just watering the tree isn't enough. Different plants require different fertilizers and sunlight. This means a bodhisattva must understand what people truly lack at their current stage of life in order to provide the most precise help. There is a passage here that I personally love. Therefore, the Bodhi belongs to sentient beings. Without sentient beings, no bodhisattva could ever attain supreme enlightenment. Honestly, if no one were experiencing suffering, how would we ever have the chance to study where suffering comes from and how to overcome it? We wouldn't. We would have zero opportunity to cultivate the right view required for awakening. So, in a way, everyone's defilements and troubles are actually the ultimate training ground for a practitioner to upgrade their abilities and establish right view. This is exactly why it is said that Bodhi belongs to sentient beings. Part 3, action trumps perfect preparation. Hearing this, have you ever felt like you must sort your own life out perfectly first? Like, once I have enough money, or once I'm capable enough, then I'll be qualified to help others. That's a really common mindset, isn't it? This brings us to our third highlight: action trumps perfect preparation. Today, we are going to bust this myth about waiting. In fact, the disciple in the text thought the exact same way. He complained about his current lack of capability in spiritual blessings. The master, however, was incredibly direct and immediately called him out, saying that waiting for everything to be perfectly ready is nothing but self-deception. The master used the bodhisattva Siddhartha as an example. This bodhisattva also started empty-handed with nothing at all. But he didn't just sit around and wait. He rolled up his sleeves and started with the most foundational tasks, like repairing bridges and paving roads for others. He just got down to practical action. You need to understand that capability and blessings never just drop out of thin air. They are forged when you personally roll up your sleeves, get your hands dirty in practice, strictly maintain precepts to keep your mind pure, and practice meditation. That is how you slowly unlock your true potential. If you just stand there waiting, honestly, no miracles will happen. Part C, the art of true compassion. Now that we've decided to act, we come to part for the art of true compassion. How do we skillfully help others without making things worse or backfiring? We need to clear up a few common misconceptions about compassion. True compassion is absolutely not about catering to someone else's greed or feeding their materialistic desires just because they want it. That isn't compassion, that is actually harming them and creating negative karmic entanglements. What is true compassion? It is treating everyone with complete equality, yes, including the people you absolutely dislike, and skillfully guiding them away from the bad habits that destroy them. We accommodate them in order to eradicate their suffering, definitely not to increase their long-term karmic obstacles. The text also introduces a rather revolutionary viewpoint. It states that if you only provide material help, like donating money or giving food, that is a very superficial level of action. The highest form of offering is your willingness to step into someone else's messy life to help them uproot their suffering, a concept known as constantly according with sentient beings. This is directly carrying on the work of the Buddha. But you will inevitably encounter people who stubbornly hold on to their suffering while constantly crying out for happiness. Right, what do you do then? Here, the master borrows the metaphor of the great white ox cart from the Lotus Sutra. Think of it as a super magnificent, incredibly attractive cart. Since these people refuse to let go of their suffering, a bodhisattva must adapt, using the splendid lure to coax them away from their misery. This is truly the perfect combination of great compassion and wisdom. Part 2, Shaping Your Own Reality. Finally, we arrive at our last section, Shaping Your Own Reality. Up until now, we've been discussing everyday morality and compassion. Now, let us take a bit of a leap into the deep waters of the nature of existence. The text presents a profound statement. You become whatever you identify with. Wherever you place your mind, that is what you are. This means that we actually already possess all inherent wisdom. Yet we often trap ourselves. Why? Because we too easily identify with temporary illusions. For example, treating this physical body which needs to shut down for sleep every night and boot up every morning as our true self. Or filling our minds entirely with external, material pursuits. Wherever you place your mind, you become merely an appendage of that thing. The master describes our existence as a circle with no beginning and no end. Look at the cycle. Step E, you plant a seed of action. Step R, you keep moving forward. Step 3, you experience the fruit born from your previous action. Step 4, you plant a new seed in the present moment. True awakening doesn't mean you leap out of the circle like an immortal deity. Rather, it means using wisdom to see clearly exactly where you are spinning and how the wheel turns. So you are no longer blindly deluded by these cycles. What's coolest of all is that the text aligns this view that reality is illusory and malleable with Einstein's later breakthrough in physics, where he concluded that time is merely an illusion. What does this show us? When you stop rigidly believing that everything is permanently real, and instead use wisdom to re-perceive the world, you attain a sense of boundless freedom. Ultimately, everything is shaped by your mind. As we wrap up today's analysis, I want to leave you with a fascinating question to ponder. If the key to unlocking the deepest truths of reality is actually hidden in how willing, selfless, and impartial you are when it comes to helping the person right in front of you, what kind of changes will you start making today? I hope this wisdom from the Buddha-Gayati Association of Australia has offered you a fresh perspective.